Welcome back to D&D Talk Wrestling Podcast, episode 41.
In this episode is going to be titled Wyatt Lore. And what we're going to be going over in this episode is basically the lore all the way from Bray Wyatt, from when he started using that cult character back in the NXT days, all the way up until right now, where we are now seeing the fruition of his thoughts and everything with the Wyatt Sicks. So, yeah.
I'm glad, this came to be because of all the Halloween Horror Nights Wyatt houses, and a lot of people, I've watched a lot of videos, and a lot of people were like, it makes me either want to watch wrestling or go on YouTube and find a lore of, the whole Wyatt storyline. And I'm so glad that, if they didn't do that, I don't know if we would have thought of this. If they didn't do those houses, I don't know if we would have had the idea for this.
Well, I mean, you did give me a lot of credit on the Monster Mayhem tournament that we had.
I mean, that was basically your brainchild.
If you didn't check those out, though, check it out, because I even have non-wrestling fans that absolutely love that. But this one was your idea. So.
I did. I walked in your house one day and I was like, we need to do for Halloween the lore of the Wyatt family, and you're like, hell yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be dressed up as the Wyatts, but it was too much.
See, I would say there's no egos on this channel.
There is no egos on this channel.
There is.
On the reactions episodes.
The problem is that our egos coincide.
Oh yeah, it makes it even worse.
So yeah, we'll give each other credit, but then if anybody else comes into the factor,
it also doesn't help that we're intimidating.
A little bit.
I never should have told you that.
Well, you know what happens when you find out the truth. The truth sets you free.
So we're gonna start with.
What did that even mean? I don't even know.
What some wrestler said that. Oh, that was our truth.
Yeah. It was. So I'm like our truth. What's up?
If you want to be.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Where's he been? Mm-hmm. Maybe he's finally actually retired.
Maybe. Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. Because I don't want him to retire, so I don't know why I said it like that. Maybe he's preparing for Cena's final match because he's going to be the opponent.
It's going to be me.
Can you imagine if he was Cena's
Swerve.
final
Ultimate
opponent?
Swerve. It's going to be me.
I think we're Swerve Strickland's coming back. He's leaving AEW for a week to go.
I'm leaving DDTW to go wrestling.
I'll find another D. It's fine. Whoa, pause!
Whoa!
Pause!
Wow.
Let's just get into the Wyatt stuff, because that was
with him saying he'll find another D. Before we get too deep into this, let's move on to our topic.
Let's move on to the topic here. So we're gonna start with. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just reading from the Wikipedia. I had a whole bunch of stuff, but everything that I was writing down was from the wiki. So I was like, let's just read from there.
And the most crazy fact about all this is he could read.
I don't know. We'll see how well it is, because sometimes the reads we did for the King of the Ring Halloween stuff wasn't the best.
First of all, when it comes to all those supernatural and psychokinetic and telekinesis and all those big words, I feel like I could say them perfectly now because we repeated them so much.
There was one word that me and you said wrong every time, and we said it different every time, and I don't remember what one it was. I'd have to go back or I have to look. I think I might still have them in Gemini. There was one word that we both said different every time, and any time it wasn't right.
Well, I mean, nobody watches us for the intellect. That's for sure.
No, there'd be negative views on these. So, Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. Wyatt's character from 2012 to 2018 was a villainous cult leader who believed himself to be the nagging conscience of an immortal world. As the leader of the Wyatt family, his main subordinates in Luke Harper and Eric Ronan, as well as Braun Strowman for a brief time. Wyatt used a lantern to light the way into the dark arena during entrances, which that entrance is amazing. It's so creepy, but then once everybody does the fireflies with the phone, I love that entrance. He was accompanied by the fans in attendance lighting the flashlights on their cell phones, which was effectively referred to as his fireflies. He would finish off most of his promos telling opponents and audiences to follow the buzzards, his signature catchphrase. The character drew comparisons to Robert De Niro's portrayal of the character Max Cady from the 1991 film Cape Fear. I didn't know that. I knew the next part because you've talked about the next part.
Yep.
And fellow wrestler Waylon Mercy.
If you watch back and look at older videos of Waylon Mercy, that dude was way before his time. I mean, he was a good wrestler, not the best, but he was a good wrestler. But he had the white pants on, the Miami Vice type white pants. Always
Some of the clips I saw, he had
he had the white wife beater on, and then he wore the Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah.
He had a little symbol right here, kind of Charles Manson-esque, and he the way he talked, the way everything, he just sounded like a cult leader of sorts. And Bray took a lot of inspiration from that character. Obviously, you could tell.
Did you read the Charles Manson? I don't know if they're rumors, because I think it's a real thing. He wanted to meet Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And the WWE was like, no, hell no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, no, I did see that.
Following a hiatus from summer 2018 to spring 2019, Wyatt returned with a change in character. He started hosting the Firefly Funhouse, where he would perform as a friendly-mannered children's television show host similar to Mr. Rogers. Those were funny. I remember seeing those and going, what the hell is going on?
See, the thing was that those were funny and they were absolutely ridiculous. And you're like, oh, well, you have this guy who is in the Wyatt family, who is the leader of these two, eventually three people, because it was Harper and Rowan, and then Strowman ended up coming. To these dark, gritty, and then all of a sudden he's doing this Firefly Funhouse when he's essentially has the same energy as even higher energy than Mr. Rogers, and it's all this nice and everything, and then he has all these characters that were in his mind that start showing up as puppets around, Mercy the Buzzard and Huskus
and Abby the Witch, Ramblin' Rabbit. It was just really, you're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, it was like watching a children's PBS show in the middle of wrestling.
I will say, speaking of Braun Strowman, I watched that food show with him. That looks really good. I was watching it getting hungry, and I wasn't even hungry.
Oh, yeah. I saw the one where he's like, this is our secret sauce, and he was like, I bet, let me take a crack at it. And he's like, mayonnaise-based.
Yeah.
Some sriracha. Yeah. And the girl's like, he's like, I'm going to stop guessing before I let your secret
There's
out.
one, he picks up the plate, and he's like, thank you for your sacrifice. I'm going to eat you now. That was really cool. It's just weird that, because, it even says, oh, we were just here for Raw, and after Raw, I came here. And I'm like, dude, you're not with the company anymore. But obviously, it was taped months ago.
But what I liked most about the Firefly Funhouse was the fact that it was so goody-goody, and it was so extra nice that it was creepy.
Yeah.
It was that extra layer of,
right.
Oh, this is too weird. This is too, goody, I don't know. It's
because he would and the best part's when he'd just be like, "Hi, everybody," and then he would smash Ramblin' Rabbit, and then he's like, "All right, bye." It was really creepy. Yeah. So soon after the Firefly Funhouse, he debuted a masked alter ego called the Fiend, a demon clown who had supernatural characteristics and remembered all the wrongdoings that others had inflicted on Wyatt in the past. During the Fiend's entrance, he would carry a severed head resembling Wyatt's old cult leader self with a lantern inside its mouth and used a heavy metal cover of his old theme music by Code Orange. I don't think I knew that part.
What?
That it was the same entrance, just a heavy metal overlay.
Yeah. Even if you play the game, if you pick the Fiend's music, you could tell that it's the same, the song. Catching flies, but it's the heavy metal version.
Okay, no, yeah, all right. I guess I wasn't thinking of
the Fiend.
Yeah.
To me, was one of the most compelling wrestling characters, probably since Kane. But
I can see
my
that.
problem with the Fiend wasn't the character, wasn't the ability to pull it off, the execution. That's what I was looking for. It was the booking.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that too, because the next thing, there's a little bit more, but then the next thing is criticism of the booking. Yeah, we're definitely going to get there.
The booking was absolutely terrible.
The Hell in a Cell match is probably one of the worst matches.
Because if the Fiend was just this special character that came around once in a while to just wreak havoc, it would have been perfect.
Right. During in-ring bouts, the Fiend was presented as having unnatural endurance and strength, being able to withstand multiple finishing moves, weapons attacks, and more, before kicking out of pins at a 1 count. Several of the Fiend's matches were also done under a red lighting, which I wasn't a fan of. And we're going to get to that. Once again, we're going to get to that. I don't want to call it horrible, but that...
I liked it. I liked the red lighting.
No. I was talking about the Hell in a Cell match.
Oh.
The horrible Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match. After Wyatt returned in 2022, a new character called Uncle Howdy would appear, based on Richard Kyle's portrayal of Captain Howdy in the 1983 film Hysterical. I didn't know that.
Also, I don't know if this says that, but Uncle Howdy was based on a recurring nightmare that Bray would have as a child too.
That was in that documentary.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So like it was something that would happen, and Bray was never really afraid of anything. Obviously, you could tell by his characters that he created, and then now you see the ones that he also created that are coming to life. But this was like a reoccurring one, and yeah, I find that really interesting.
I remember her talking about. I can't think of her name. His wife talking about that.
I just find it very interesting that like somebody that is so in tune to the supernatural type, spooky, scary horror, that one of his biggest fears and things that scared him was just something simple like Uncle Howdy.
And he made it an actual like thing. Yeah.
He brought it to life. It was like, all right, this scared me. I'm this crazy being. Like, this is gonna scare you too.
So we're gonna go to a little bit of criticism of booking, which, yeah. While Rotunda's character work had been widely praised and the in-ring booking of his character received criticism, journalist Dave Meltzer said that although his Funhouse Fiend character was fantastic and he was genius as a performer, it did not make his matches great. In particular, his Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins at the 2019 Hell in a Cell event was universally panned by fans and critics due to its horrid booking and continuous ending that saw the match being stopped by the referee after Rollins attacked the Fiend with numerous weapons, despite Hell in a Cell matches usually ending via pinfall or submission. Some commentators stated that the match had significantly damaged the character of the Fiend. Yeah, that, like, to be a Hell in a Cell match where anything goes, for the ref to stop it because anything was going, I feel like
it's like you're supposed to have mercy for this character that is supposed to be unstoppable.
Like, it kind of, I don't want to say if it kind of started the downfall, but
what put the nail in the coffin was the match against Goldberg, I believe.
Where Goldberg won in like 4 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it wasn't, I don't know, that match is really, thankfully it hurt Bray. Thankfully it didn't hurt Seth. Can you imagine if they both would have went down because of that match? And then, like, this isn't a...
See, the reason why it didn't hurt Seth is because Seth's character was just Seth Rollins.
He wasn't anything right then, was he?
Well, no, I mean, he was still, like, a big deal.
No, but
I'm not saying that as a homer.
But he wasn't, like, the Kingslayer, the Beast Slayer.
He was like the architect.
Was he the architect then?
But, like, the fact is that he's just a regular person. You know what I mean? Like, it hurt the Fiend because now if it was Seth versus Bray and it ended like that, that would have been okay because Bray is just the human.
Right.
But it was the Fiend. The Fiend should never have been booked weak. Yeah, Seth should have been able to throw everything at him, and then after he did, when the ref was going to stop it, that's when the Fiend should have just got back up and was like, no. Like, not just say no like that, but you know what I mean?
It was just, yeah.
Like, you'll never end me.
Yeah.
You'll never beat me because that's what the Fiend was. Unless you, like, literally shackled him down. Which, shit, that would have been a better finish if Seth friggin' used chains to hold him down and pin him.
That would have been a much better finish.
Rather than the way that it happened.
Rather than the ref. And I don't think... A lot of people talk trash on it, too. You said you liked the red lights, but a lot of people were like, between the red lights and the... Because that wasn't the steel cage, was still red. They couldn't really see a lot of stuff. The red lights and then the red Hell in a Cell... It wasn't really helping a lot of things either.
I just like the red lights because I thought it brought like a nice ambiance to the character.
I do like when they do certain things like that, but I at that moment it was probably just too much for everybody. So after all of that, because that was, when did I say that was? I don't even know if I said a year.
Because you had the Fiend's run also, like you said, he lost to Goldberg in however many seconds. So
we're gonna do the return and then the final appearances because there's a lot. Like, we could probably sit here for a good 2 hours if you want to do the FCW Wyatts, the original Wyatt family. We're basically doing near the end because then we're gonna go into the Wyatt Sicks. So September of 2022, WWE began playing a cappella version of White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane at live events and during commercial breaks on television. And QR codes would be randomly coming up on screen.
Well, before we get into this, I do want to bring up his little run against Randy Orton as the Fiend.
Because that's when... Is that when Alexa joined?
Yeah. Because bringing Alexa into the mix was absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion, because she brought like a whole different dynamic. But this is what I meant, like when Orton like defeated the Fiend by burning him alive, and then he came back, as a burnt version of the Fiend, which that costume in itself was absolutely Bray said that was like one of the hardest things to wrestle in because he had like no
you couldn't
ventilation, no movement.
It was hard to breathe and everything.
But it looks so badass. But it's like, okay, so Orton put him down by setting him on fire, but he still came back. Like that is how the Fiend should have always been booked. I know, like I'm getting mad about the booking, but it's like.
But you're not wrong though.
But that when he was with Alexa Bliss, that was the last time we saw him, right? After that whole thing happened.
Yeah, because he came back at Extreme Rules.
Because he was let go.
Or not Extreme Rules. No.
He was let go of the company. From the company for a while.
And then he came back, and that's when the QR codes and stuff happened. And then he showed up. His last match was at Extreme Rules, but he showed up at the end of a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because I remember...
It was Extreme Rules that he showed up. It was in Philly.
So he showed up at Extreme Rules, and then his last match was at the year after Extreme Rules? Was it Extreme Rules? Again, his last match was against LA Knight.
Yeah, but when he returned, it was in Philly. I'm pointing this way, like Philly's that way.
Because I remember our favorite Matt Riddle was there, and then the lights went out.
It was after that match, yeah. I think it was Seth versus Riddle.
Was that an Extreme Rules event? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
So that actually has in here some Randy Orton Alexa Bliss stuff, so we can talk about that for a little bit. On the April 10th episode, and actually that's not the first time now talking about Randy Orton, that's not the first time Orton and Bray Wyatt had stuff going on, because he was in the Wyatt family for a little bit. So was Daniel Bryan, but that's when because he's the one that lit up the house in the swamp, Orton.
Yeah. And let's not forget about a little run there that Bray had with Woken.
I saw that. That's in here. The Eater of... I think they were the Eater of Worlds.
The Deleter of Worlds.
The Deleter of Worlds, yeah. So we can start with the Deleter of Worlds unless I can find... Oh, no, here it is. Is this where... There's a picture of Orton, yeah. So there was an August 16th episode of SmackDown Live. Wyatt walked away from Rowan after he lost his match against Ambrose, leaving Rowan's sheet mask on Wyatt's chair. Wyatt confronted Randy Orton, who called him damaged, and challenged him to a match at Backlash, which Orton accepted on the August episode of SmackDown. At Backlash, Wyatt attacked Orton before the match, winning by forfeit. Wyatt then faced Kane in a no-holds-barred match, which he lost when Orton interfered. Orton then challenged Wyatt to another match at No Mercy, which he accepted and won with the help of Harper. In October, at SmackDown Live, Orton interfered on Wyatt's behalf in a match with Kane and joined the Wyatt family. He wasn't there for long. I think, did they have a tie? I feel like Orton and Harper had the tag titles too, and then that's when Orton, he was still in the family when he lit the house on fire.
Yeah. And
basically they just redid the story with Daniel Bryan. But he was trying to get Bryan in for a while.
Yeah.
And then because Bryan wore the goat mask, the sheep mask, I mean.
He wore the overalls.
The overalls and the sheep mask, and then he attacked him. Was it at a Hell in a Cell? It was in a cage. I remember it being in a cage. When he gave him like the Busaiku running knee.
It was in a steel cage. It wasn't in a Hell in a Cell, because that's when like one of the greatest eruptions from reactions from the fans
in a long time.
Yeah,
in a long time.
Because he took out Bray and then got up on the cage and started doing the yes thing, and yeah.
So we could do the Leader of Worlds only lasted about a year. At Extreme Rules in 2017, Wyatt failed to become the number one contender for the Universal Championship in a fatal four-way won by Samoa Joe. After Rollins was unveiled of the cover of 2K18, Wyatt targeted him and defeated him both at Great Balls of Fire. That was a dumb name for a pay-per-view.
Terrible name.
And again on the following Raw. Wyatt then began a feud with Finn Balor, resulting in a match between the two in SummerSlam, which Balor won under his Demon King persona. I remember that. And I really wish the Demon King faced The Fiend. Because that would have been cool.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wyatt lost to Balor at No Mercy in September. They were set to have a third match at TLC in October, but Wyatt was unable to compete due to an illness concern and was replaced by AJ Styles, which gave us the Too Sweet in the ring, which I still remember to this day. Bringing the feud between Wyatt and Balor to a quiet end, Wyatt returned in November on an episode of Raw facing Jason Jordan in a losing effort. In November, Wyatt began a feud with Matt Hardy, resulting in Hardy's broken gimmick reemerging. The two fought at the Raw 25 years, which Wyatt won. In January, Wyatt entered the Rumble at 8, but failed to win after Wyatt and Hardy eliminated each other simultaneously. In Elimination Chamber, Wyatt lost to Hardy. In March 19th of Raw, after losing to Hardy in an Ultimate Deletion match, Wyatt was pushed into the Lake of Reincarnation, where he disappeared. At WrestleMania 34 on April 8th, Wyatt returned and turned face after he interfered in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, helping Hardy win. They formed a team and won the vacant Raw Tag Team titles at the Greatest Royal Rumble, defeating Cesaro and Sheamus. They lost the titles to the B Team. I didn't realize he lost to his brother. He gave the titles to his brother, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, in their first pay-per-view title defense in July at Extreme Rules. On July 23rd episode of Raw, they invoked their rematch clause against the B Team, but were unsuccessful. Soon after, Hardy took time off to heal from his injuries, disbanding the team. The reason WWE disbanded the team was because they grew tired of them both pitching several ideas of their characters. Why would WWE get tired of that? That's when you know that was like the shitty Vince era. And
then that era goes right into The Fiend.
It does. Because that was in July of 18. In April of 19, ominous vignettes began airing across WWE programming, depicting a sinister buzzard puppet, a witch doll, and other toys. Later that month, Wyatt began to appear in pre-recorded segments in the Firefly Funhouse, which we were talking about before. The segments featured aforementioned puppets called Mercy the Buzzard, a reference to Waylon Mercy, an inspiration for Wyatt's previous gimmick. Abby the Witch, Ramblin' Rabbit, and Huskus the Pig Boy, introduced later. The latter a reference to Wyatt's previous gimmick of Husky Harris. The tank with the Ferrari engine, is that what he used to say? Yeah. Husky Harris had some cool ass. I'm pretty sure it was like the tank with the Ferrari engine. As well as one of Mr. McMahon that occasionally appeared. That was my favorite one. During the initial segment, Wyatt destroyed a cardboard cutout.
Well, see, they had to get rid of the McMahon one.
Yeah, I know.
Because whenever they put the hand inside, it got excited.
Jesus Christ. During the initial segment, Wyatt destroyed a cardboard cutout of his old self with a chainsaw, cheerily telling viewers that all they had to do for him was light the way, was to let me in. The Firefly Funhouse segments became more sinister, with one featuring Wyatt painting a picture to express his suppressed feelings, which was a painting of the Wyatt family compound being burned with Sister Abigail inside, a reference to his WrestleMania 33 feud with Orton. Another featured him having a picnic with expressionless kids, while another revealed that Wyatt was able to control his darkness. He then appeared in more sinister clothing and a demonic mask resembling an evil clown, the Fiend. This is probably one like my favorite. The last version is probably one of my favorites, which we started talking about. September 2022, WWE began playing a cappella version of White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane at live events during commercial breaks and during commercial breaks of televised shows. While QR codes were hidden in various locations on the episode of Raw and SmackDown, and we would sit there at work trying to figure out what the hell that stuff was. That was so much fun.
I mean, we even went to wrestling events where that happened.
That happened because we were like, it's about to be quiet, and then the music started playing, and we're like, hell yeah. Each code led to websites containing imagery, mini games, and riddles that all vaguely referenced Wyatt and were seemingly connected to the upcoming Extreme Rules event on October 8th. Okay, you were right. Mm-hmm. At the close of the event, Wyatt returned to the WWE as a face, accompanied by live-action versions of his Firefly Funhouse characters and a new mask, revealing himself as the person behind the White Rabbit teases. Wyatt's return included a masked character, Uncle Howdy, portrayed by his real-life brother Taylor, previously known as Bo Dallas, and then again known as Bo Dallas. That was kind of weird. At Raw is 30, the 30th anniversary of Raw, Wyatt interrupted LA Knight in a segment with The Undertaker, in which The Undertaker seemingly gave Wyatt his approval in what many call the passing of the torch moment. At the Royal Rumble, Wyatt defeated Knight in what ended up being... Oh, that was a Rumble. Okay.
So, see, when
I remember The Undertaker talking to him in the ring, too.
When Bray came back, though, those promos that he would cut...
You can tell it wasn't Bray, it was Wyndham.
Yes, Bray was cutting those like as
because he just starts crying and stuff. Yeah, that wasn't
it was
because he'd be like, I hear stuff, I hear this. It wasn't Bray Wyatt. That was absolutely Wyndham Rotunda talking.
Yes, 100%. And that return is one of my favorites in like wrestling history.
No, yeah,
I remember when that happened. Like we didn't watch that pay-per-view together, but I remember we were messaging each other.
Oh God, yeah.
Like they would show like at the Extreme Rules event, it would just be like the music was playing. And then it would show one of the people in the crowd. I remember
they were they were all like, and it wasn't like they were all around the ring too. And it would just show one, and the lights would go out, and it would show another one, and the lights would go out. And I think Uncle Howdy was the last one they showed. Uncle Howdy and him were the last ones they showed.
No, the Fiend was the last one they showed.
The Fiend was. You're right. That was really. We were like, what the hell's going on?
And then they had the door with the blue light behind it, and then it creaked open with the smoke, and then you just saw the lantern.
That. I would love to relive that for like the first time.
I would have loved to have been there for that. And it pisses me off that it was so close too.
Yeah, we got to go to Philly shows, man. We have to go to Philly shows.
I mean, that was a pay-per-view, but still, that would have been... Can you imagine saying that you've been there?
Oh, my God, that would have been awesome. After his feud with Knight, Wyatt began a storyline with Bobby Lashley heading into WrestleMania 39, but he quietly disappeared from television before the event and his storyline where Lashley was dropped. On September... Go ahead.
What I want to say about that is they started the Firefly Funhouse things again.
They did, you're right.
Because he did the Muscle Man dance.
Yeah, and that was for Bobby.
And because... Before we get into the next part of it, his idea was a reincarnation of the Fiend, which would have tied in perfectly to him being silly and goofy and doing the Muscle Man dance, the Firefly Funhouse thing. There was a new version of the Fiend that he had thought up, and it was all drawn out. The mask was different.
Yeah, it was a brand new mask because there was like
it was more like grotesque looking. And on the back of the mask was an upside down head.
Right, because when he would do the spider walk, it would actually show that. I remember that.
But the upside down, the face on the back was actually a cast of his wife's face.
Yeah.
The outfit, the top part wasn't that much different. I remember the pants.
The pants were different.
Had stripes on them, but they had like the names of like I think all of his kids.
I think yeah.
Just in tiny little letters, so you couldn't see them at all. But like everything. If you watch the documentary, everything that he did had a reason for it.
This makes me want to rewatch the documentary now.
This really makes me want to rewatch it.
I might do that today or tomorrow. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
But, yeah, cool, because what I want to do on a Wednesday night is cry.
That's why I'm going to do it tomorrow.
I'm not going to lie, that shit had me emotional.
When I watched that the first time I cried. Yeah, no.
We might have to watch it together.
We should watch it together and we could talk. We could do an episode talking about it.
Just crying on each other's shoulder.
That's fine. Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time you gave me a wet shoulder. But yeah, no, it was so cool. And then with the original Fiend, how he would walk out and hold the lantern of Bray's face, this Fiend would have been walking out holding a lantern of the old Fiend's face.
I remember it. I remember the mask.
So what they did is they got all the ideas, the plans, the drawings and stuff, and they put it in the 2K game.
The stuff he never did.
Yeah, because they have the Fiend in it, and then they have the 2023 version of the Fiend, which is the new version. Yeah, everything's in.
I didn't know that.
They actually turned that into the game, which I thought was amazing because when you see him come out, you see the face on the back and everything.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It all like came to life. I mean, in a video game, but still.
It's still. He wasn't able to see his creation in the ring, so at least there's a way to have.
But I remember
his creation.
I remember when that happened with the Bobby Lashley, and they're like, "Why is Bray acting stupid? Why are they going back to this goofy stuff?" That was why. That was a prelude to him being his whatever Bray, Uncle Howdy was going to be tying into the fact that they were trying to control the Fiend, who was back.
Right.
Which would have been freaking phenomenal, but unfortunately,
yeah. On the February 17th, 2023 episode of SmackDown, Wyatt and Howdy laid out Hit Row. followed by Wyatt challenging the winner of Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, which took place at that year's Elimination Chamber to a match at WrestleMania 39, which would be Wyatt's final appearance on WWE. Reports later indicating that his sudden disappearance was due to Wyatt dealing with a real-life illness. On August 19th, it was reported that Wyatt was closing in on a return after spending most of his time since February battling a life-threatening illness, which was due to COVID and
underlying issues.
Stuff with his heart.
Yeah.
I just got like chills reading that last part. That was really. I remember when all that. I remember seeing when all that stuff happened and like hearing him pass away was such like a shock.
No, that was terrible because he's like the same age as us.
He is. He's either the same age or like a year older or a year younger. But it was
same
like,
age.
Is it the exact same age?
Same age, yeah.
So now that we did the Wyatt and the Wyatt family stuff, we're gonna head over to some of the Wyatt Sicks stuff that WWE is currently doing now, which they're on a run with it.
So basically, what we said about the whole idea for the Fiend that he also had another idea to incorporate the puppets from the Firefly Funhouse into real versions of themselves. So, like, honestly, I think it would have been like the Fiend and all these puppets together. Can you imagine?
He's definitely the sixth one in the Wyatt Sicks.
The Wyatt Sicks, like the Fiend, with all the
100%.
The live pup, like that would have been.
I like how it's like Wyatt Sicks, like the number, but it's spelled six, like illness 6.
But he had all these ideas and everything, and I guess like it was a mix between Taylor, his wife, Triple H, getting all of his ideas together, figuring out what it all is. They decided, like Triple H and Taylor decided, okay, we're going to keep the Uncle Howdy character. We are going to do what Bray planned, create what Bray had planned. And what you see now on SmackDown with the Wyatt Sicks is still his brainchild. That's still what he wanted out there. So you had Mercy the Buzzard coming to life, which is Dexter Loomis.
Right.
You have Ramblin' Rabbit, which is Eric Rowan from obviously the original Wyatt family, which is amazing.
I love that he's doing it.
Huskus is Joe Gacy, which is a perfect fit because even before they always said.
I said when he was doing that stuff in NXT, I was like, he's like little Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. You have
Abby the Witch.
Is she considered Abby, or is it?
Yeah, Abby the Witch.
Abby the Witch, Nikki Cross, and then obviously Uncle Howdy's still there, which is Bo Dallas, which is his brother, and they are now the Wyatt Sicks. Obviously, I've said 5 members, but I feel like if Bray was alive,
he's definitely the 6th one.
The Fiend came to fruition, then
he's 100% the 6th one.
Yeah,
because a lot of people were like, "Is it going to be Alexa? Is it going to be when Strowman was there? Is it going to be Strowman?" But I'm pretty sure Bo even came out and said, "Wyndham, my brother, is the 6th one." I'm pretty sure he did that in one of those videos. Because remember those promo videos with the VHS tapes in the beginning when they were first starting? Mm-hmm. They were creepy as all hell. They were really creepy.
They were awesome. And when they first debuted?
Oh, when they destroyed the back? And they that was... During the April 2024 documentary, Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal, we need to watch it again. Taylor showed the unfinished ideas Wyndham had left. He also implied the return of Uncle Howdy, as seen during the end of the documentary, which saw Howdy's silhouette standing behind Wyndham's lantern. Prior to Wyatt's death, there had been online speculation that he and Howdy would be forming a new version of the Wyatt family, called the Wyatt Sicks, which would include real-life versions of his Firefly Funhouse puppet characters, everybody that we basically explained there. At the beginning of 2024, WWE launched an alternative reality game nicknamed Nightbird. Did you know that?
No.
Hold on. At the beginning of 2024, WWE launched an alternate reality game nicknamed Nightbird. Over the following months, they aired vignettes at live events and during commercial breaks of televised shows, accompanied by production glitches, playing out a Marty Amato song called Nightbird. In addition, following WrestleMania 40 in April 2024, short screen distortions appeared at various times during WWE programming, with each glitch displaying a QR code leading to websites containing imagery, minigames, and riddles that vaguely reference the return of Uncle Howdy. I remember those. I don't remember this Nightbird game, though.
No.
In addition to his stable, very similar to how Wyatt returned at the 2022 Extreme Rules. In some cases, WWE's social media profiles and other venues were taken over by Howdy. This included instances such as a QR code for 2K24 that appeared when launching the game. At the end of the June 17, 2024 episode of Raw, the arena lights went out and a door appeared on stage, similar to how Wyatt returned at the 2022 Extreme Rules. The door opened to reveal Nikki Cross crawling from the door towards Wyatt's lantern, before standing up and directing the cameraman to go backstage, where it was shown that numerous unnamed WWE backstage talent, several security personnel, and Chad Gable had been brutally attacked. Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy were all standing over the carnage at various points, before finally revealing Uncle Howdy, who led the group out onto the stage to cross before grabbing the lantern and proclaiming, "We're here," and blowing it out, similar to Wyatt. It was then revealed that the group was called the Wyatt Sicks, a play on the words Wyatt Six, like the number, with Cross, Rowan, Loomis, and Gacy portraying the prospective Firefly Funhouse characters Abby the Witch, Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy the Buzzard, and Huskus the Pig Boy. On the June 24th episode of Raw, Bo Dallas appeared and began being interviewed by his alter ego Uncle Howdy. Dallas lamenting his brother Bray Wyatt's death. The group would have their first match on the August 5th episode of Raw, where Rowan, Loomis, and Gacy would team up to face the newly formed Team American Made, where the Wyatt Six would win after Loomis pinned Gable. On the August 26th episode of Raw, Howdy would take on Gable in a singles match, in which Howdy won after interference from both American Made and the Wyatt Six before performing Sister Abigail. On the September 9th episode of Raw, the Wyatt Six defeat American Made in a street fight, ending their feud. They started a feud with The Miz and the Final Testament. In January of 2025, the Wyatt Six were moved to SmackDown as a result of the transfer window between the two brands. But due to an injury sustained by Howdy, they did not appear on television until May 23rd episode of SmackDown, when they attacked the Wyatt Six, Fraxium, and DIY. On the July 11th episode of SmackDown, Loomis and Gacy defeated the Street Profits to win the tag titles. I know we said it before, and I wish it was in here more. Their videos that they played of like Bo being interviewed by Uncle Howdy, and then Uncle Howdy talking to Dexter, talking to Joe Gacy, talking to Nikki Cross, talking to Rowan of like, what do you remember about Bray, or why did this happen? Like they basically all came because their family, like Nikki, was it Nick? No, Dexter Lumis came because his old family, the Way, left him. Rowan came obviously because he was close to Bray. And
I mean, they couldn't say his name, but they alluded to also Harper.
Yeah, right. Also Harper, and I mean, technically, I guess Strowman. I don't remember the Gacy and the Nikki video, though. Was Gacy just because he was almost like another cult leader?
Well, Gacy, his guys ended up turning on him and leaving him, too. Schism, yeah. And Nikki just kind of got the shit end of everything.
Oh, Nikki was with the Alexa stuff.
Yeah.
Because she was really close with Alexa, and then the Fiend turned Alexa on her. So she's not turning on Alexa, but she's joining the Fiend because that's what Alexa did back in the day. This Wyatt stuff is
I love the Wyatts.
I'm really thinking about watching this documentary again. I wish there was more history on them on here though. I wish they talked about the actual videos. I don't know if I can click on each one if they do it.
All I have to say is probably one of my favorite wrestling characters of all time, Bray Wyatt. I love the Wyatt Six. I'm so glad they have titles.
Oh, I'm so glad they have those titles.
I'm glad that I see Nikki Cross lurking in the background when it's talking about like the women's United States title.
They're not just there to they're not just sitting in catering. They're actually doing stuff, and they're actually like being creepy. Like
right now, they're on the verge of maybe a massive mashup against the MFTs.
That's gonna be.
And just think about it, bro. We're going to SmackDown. We're probably going to see the Wyatts.
I hope that. So,
I want to see Derek's reaction when they come out.
When we found out about tickets, and last week when we bought tickets, I watched SmackDown and I went, "Oh my God, we can see Jacob. Oh my God, we can see Cody." And then I went, oh shit, we can see the Wyatt Sicks. And I was like, oh, I hope they're there.
We haven't seen the Wyatt Sicks, have we?
I saw Bray. I don't know if you ever saw Bray. I saw Bray live. We haven't seen the Wyatt Sicks. But I remember seeing Bray Wyatt.
No, I meant.
But I don't think.
We never saw the Wyatt Sicks, no.
No. Well, no, they've only been around for, what, a year? Maybe? Yeah, even going to, like...
We'll see the MFTs, Wyatt Sicks.
Oh my God, the MFTs. Even, like, going to each one of their pages, it doesn't talk about those videos that they played. I really wish that's one of the things they would have on here. I'm kind of sad that they don't.
The event we're going to is right after War Games, I believe. It's like a week or two after War Games.
War Games is the next WWE pay-per-view.
I think it's November
29th. So it's literally... That's October. It's 2 weeks. They're here 2 weeks after that. The Wyatts versus the MFTs in a War Games match. Oh man, that just got me excited.
I know. I heard the bump on the table.
Yeah. That's really much it. Like, I really wish they had at least what those videos were on. They're not anywhere on any of their wikis.
I mean, we did want to talk about one of the end of spooky season, the end of October. We already went through the scary things, but like one of the most craziest horror themed minds ever was also a professional wrestler.
I will say I'm glad, because I think it was like the beginning of the month or even the beginning of September or end of September. I was like, our first one for October needs to be the Wyatt, and you're like, no, save it for Halloween. And I was like, no, you're 100% right. Yeah. Save it for Halloween.
And saving it for Halloween also led us to the rest of the ones, which, you know, I kind of love this entire month. The Halloween Havoc matches. The spooky characters. The spooky wrestlers.
The Monster Mayhem tournament that was awesome.
My favorite.
If we did an end of the year, our favorite podcasts, that's on there for one of my favorite podcasts.
And I'll be honest, if anybody liked that Monster Mayhem tournament, wait till you see what we have in store coming up. Because
we've got 2 coming up.
Honestly, if we're gonna stay true to the lore of Wyatt, we're about to be really borderline weird and creepy.
Oh, not borderline. 100% not borderline.
But we're going to get a little silly with it, with some things coming up, because this is a dark month. I mean, not dark as in dark for us, just dark as in everything we covered was either spooky, scary, monster related. So like in the next coming months, you got a holiday based around family.
Yeah, the gobbledygooker.
You got a holiday based around a fat guy in a red suit. So it's...
Kane?
What?
No. Heyman in a red 2-piece.
Heyman in Kane suit.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it's going to lighten up a little bit, and it's going to get a little silly for a little bit there. But, you know, like we said, wrestling could be cheesy. I said this in the rewind. Wrestling's cheesy. That's one of the reasons why we love it. So
100%. But we had to do this kind of stuff, especially this episode for this month in particular.
Yeah. Especially because Bray is one of my goats. He might be on my Mount Rushmore.
He's definitely in my top 5. Definitely my top 5.
Really?
I don't know if I could do a Mount Rushmore. But he's absolutely in my top 5.
Mount Rushmore is just made of rock. We could just add more people.
We could just reshape one to be another one. It could be Roman, and then you just take his hair off and change it a little bit. Then it's The Rock. You ain't gonna change no tattoos, really.
Because they're Samoan and just interchangeable.
Basically.
Oh, Lord.
Pretty much. But as always, guys, thank you for being here and talking wrestling with us.
You know, we really appreciate you being there through October with the spooky season. We really hope that you're going to roll with us through the next ones.
We're glad you're here for spooky season. Matter of fact,
yeah, Skelly's going to be here for a while, but like Dave said, his new catchphrase. Thank you for talking wrestling with us, and we appreciate you guys for letting us in.